Following the money, Baltimore's fraud watchdog uncovers contractors overbilling City Hall and a breach of confidential juvenile records. Welcome to the news at 5. I'm Nikki Zizaza.
And I'm Rick Ritter. The Inspector General's new report finds a pilot program aimed at helping juvenile offenders had some really big problems.
Now, that includes some contractors allegedly taking advantage of the city and the unauthorized release of children's personal information.
And WJZ investigator Mike Helgren live at City Hall with much more on this follow-up tonight. And Mike, how much did this cost taxpayers?
Rick, Nikki, the Inspector General found the taxpayers are out thousands of dollars. The city is now trying to get some of that money back. And as to that data breach involving juveniles' confidential information, the Inspector General says an employee at the time sent those records to a relative's Gmail account.
$500. Can't tell you where the money went. You know, and just pages that I don't even know what it is.
Baltimore's waste watchdog, Inspector General Isabel Cumming, spoke to WJZ Investigates in January, outraged the city suddenly cut off her access to records during this investigation. And the case has only heated up since then. In a new report, Cumming alleges lax oversight of Sidestep, a pilot program to help first-time juvenile offenders. It's part of MONSE, the mayor's signature crime-fighting plan. Cumming found taxpayers spent more than $694,000 on 15 contractors to help troubled youth, and at least 2 of those contractors committed fraud, overbilling Baltimore by thousands of dollars, faking invoices. The Inspector General worries there could be more fraud, but cannot know for sure because the city redacted more than 200 documents she requested. She declined to talk about the report today, citing a lawsuit to regain the same access to information her office had for years prior to this investigation that she detailed in our past interview.
We are the people's watchdog, and it doesn't make sense that this happened the way it did, why it did.
Her report also alleges a MONSE employee improperly emailed a relative confidential information on as many as 700 juveniles, all as the agency is fighting to access more juvenile records in the General Assembly.
It is the opposite of broad and unfettered access. It is access only to those records in cases where we are working with that young person specifically.
Mayor Brandon Scott says the MONSE investigation and Inspector General's access to records are separate issues.
What happened does not stop the Inspector General from doing her investigations.
The Inspector General writes, this report clearly shows why oversight and direct access to city records and emails are necessary to identify fraud and prevent liability to the city. MONSE's response criticizes the Inspector General for not providing more specifics about the thousands of dollars in fraud, and says the agency already began an audit and is working to recoup the funds, noting MONSE is deeply concerned about the allegations raised in this report, all while Baltimore's fraud watchdog vows to continue fighting for transparency.
I've been kind of backed into a corner where transparency is what I have.
Now, MONSE also tells us that these are isolated incidents and they don't reflect broader concerns with their agency, and that they've learned lessons. The Sidestep program is no more, and the employee who's accused of breaching that data no longer works for the city of Baltimore. We're live in your corner at City Hall. Mike Helgren, WJZ.